Hello again, gang. Mr. Cruze here with another geometry review for you. This time the Chapter 11 test review, which is about surface area and volume. Okay. In this video, we'll be going over the first half of the review with you, so you can see how it's done. If at any time you need to stop and rewatch an explanation, you certainly can. Unlike the real-life Mr. Cruze, this Mr. Cruze is rewatchable. Okay. Again, if you need any help at all, you can always Twitter me at Mr. Cruze Math. You can always email me, cruze@brownsburg.k12.in.us. You can ask questions through Math Excel. There's all kinds of resources available to you. All right. Anyway, here we go. We're going to find the lateral area, surface area, and volume of these solids to the nearest whole number. Okay. Sometimes they might ask you to do it in terms of pi. Sometimes the nearest whole number. Just do whatever they want. Okay. This first shape, I notice it has two parallel and congruent bases, which makes this a prism. Okay, in fact, it's a triangular prism. Why? Because the base is a triangle. So, for prism, lateral area equals perimeter of the base times the height. Okay? Well, I know the height of the prism is 10. I just need the perimeter of the base, right? And if I were to extrapolate this picture and redraw it, I'm missing this third side, so I can't quite find perimeter. Biggest question I'm going to have from people, how do I find perimeter of a triangle? You just add up all the sides, same like normal. But we're going to have to use Pythagorean theorem here to figure out how long that third side is. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? Remember what goes where. So this equals x squared, so x squared is 18, which means the missing side is in fact roughly 4.24. I would go with a couple places. Okay? So what's the perimeter of the base? Well, it's 3 plus 3 plus 4.24. So you get 10.24, and then you just find the lateral area, perimeter times the height. So 10.24 times the height of the prism, which is 10. That's how tall it is between the bases. Anyway, you get 102.4, but it says nearest whole number, so we'll get rid of the 4. So 102, and this is square inches because you're talking about area. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this work if that's okay with you guys, since we figured that out. Well, surface area is roughly the same as lateral area, only it's pH plus twice the area of the bases. It's basically the lateral area plus two bases is what it is. Okay. So, well, we know what the first part is. That's 102. Plus 2 times the area of the base. Well, what is the area of the base? Well, let me redraw the triangle. I know area of a triangle, you might want to write this down in case you forget, is 1/2 base times height. Wow, I can say base. 1/2 base times height. So this will be 1/2 3 times 3, which is 4.5. You just plug this in your calculator and go. You get 102 plus 9, which is 111 square inches. Okay. Now, volume is area of the base times the height of the prism. Well, we just found the area of the base. It's 4.5 times the height of the prism, which is 10. So you get 45 cubic inches. Easy enough. The hardest part about it is the area of the triangle. Okay? In this second one, we kind of have a similar thing going on. We have a triangle here. You're going to have to figure out that third side to find perimeter of the triangle. Be careful here, though. This is misleading. This is not a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. I know it's tempting to say that it is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, but it's actually not. Okay. 9 plus 25 equals x squared. Let's see. So that's 34 equals x squared, which means x will be 5 point something. Let's see. 5.83. So our lateral area is perimeter times height. Well, what's the perimeter of the base? That'll be 3 plus 5 plus 5.83, which is 13.83, times the height of the prism, which is how far it is between the bases, which is, again, is 10. So this will be 138.3, but again, we're worrying about rounding to the nearest whole number, so that's it. Surface area is going to be lateral area plus 2 times the area of the bases. Well, what is the area of the base? Well, it's going to be 1/2 3 times 5. So that'll be 7.5. 2 times 7.5 is in fact going to be 15. So you do 138 plus 15, and you get 153 square meters. As far as volume, well, it's area of the base times the height. 7.5 times the height of the prism, which is 10, so you get 75 cubic meters. Easy enough. Oh, here's a rectangular prism for you. I'll even draw in the extra part. You can try if you want, but it might help you see. We're going to... Lateral area is a little tricky because it's like, well, what base do I use? I'm going to stick with just the bottom base. If you go with one of these sides as the base, you'll get a different lateral area than what I'll get, okay? The one on the test will be marked for you to use, okay? So we're going to use the bottom. So, perimeter of the base times the height. Well, the perimeter of the base is going to be 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2, which is 14. And what's the height of the prism? Well, that's 10. So that'll be 140 square meters. Surface area is going to be that lateral area plus 2 times area of the base. Well, the area of the base is a rectangle, so it'll be 5 times 2, which is 10. Hopefully you all remember how to find area of a rectangle, right? It's just base times height. 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 10 is 20, so we get 160 square meters. And volume, again, is area of the base times the height. So area of the base is 5 times 2, which is 10. And the height of the prism is 10. So you get 100 cubic meters. Okay? Prisms. Oh, we have a cylinder. It says leave your answer in terms of pi. These are basically the same formulas, but lateral area is going to be 2 pi RH. Surface area is going to be 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. And volume is going to be pi r squared h. Okay? Basically, you only need 2 things here. You need the radius, which is 3, and the height of the cylinder, which is 6. Easy enough. So, basically, I'm going to be plugging things in. R is 3. The height is 6. So I have you leave it in terms of pi here because I figure if you can get it in terms of pi, you can just multiply by 3.14 if you absolutely need to. 2 times 3 times 6. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. Times 6 is 36. And then don't forget the pi, square inches. 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Well, I know this part is 36 pi because we just found it. 2 pi, r is 3. 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18. So this is actually going to be 36 pi plus 18 pi, right? And that'll be 54 pi square inches. Now, volume. R is 3 again, and the height is 6. 9 times 6 is 54 pi cubic inches. Now, these are not the same answer. One's in square inches, one's in cubic inches. This shape, this is a pyramid, okay? So the formulas are a little different. The lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height. Okay. Surface area is 1/2 perimeter times the slant height plus 1 base. And the volume is 1/3 area of the base times the height. Okay. Well, first off, what's the perimeter of the base? Well, this is a square pyramid. Okay. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 40. So I know P is 40. The only thing I need is that slant height. And uh-oh, I don't have it, right? They just gave me the regular height. So I'm going to need to find it using a little Pythagorean theorem trickery, okay? I know the height's 15. This down here is half of the side length, so it's 5. And then I can find the slant height. Let's call it L, just because that's what it is. So 15 squared plus 5 squared equals L squared. So you have 225 plus 25 equals L squared. So L squared equals 250, which means L is roughly, it'll probably be 15.81. Okay. So we just plug that in. And then round to the nearest whole number this time. Remember, that was the instructions on the front. I get 316.2, so we'll just round that to 316 square inches. So again, this 1/2 PL here at the front, I know what that's supposed to come out to be. That's 316. Plus 1 base. Well, the base is a square. 10 times 10. It's 100. So 316 plus 100 is 416 square inches. 1/3 area of the base times the height. Well, the area of the base, I just kind of said that weirdly, is 100. 10 times 10. Times the height of the pyramid is 15. Not the slant height, okay? So you take 100 times 15 and divide by 3, and you get 500 cubic inches. Simple enough, right? Oh, here's a cone. We're going to leave our answer in terms of pi. Lateral area is pi RL. Surface area is pi RL plus pi r squared. And volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay? So I need the radius, the slant height, and the height. I've got the radius, and I've got the height. I just need the slant height, so let's figure that out. Well, again, Pythagorean theorem. So we have 12 squared plus 5 squared equals L squared. 144 plus 25, well, that's 169. And if you know your perfect squares, you know L is 13. So we've got everything we need. We've got everything we need. Pi r, r is 5. The slant height is 13. So that'll be 65 pi meters squared. So I know the first part of my surface area is going to be 65 pi. Pi r squared, well, r is 5. So that'll be 25 pi plus 65 pi, right? Everybody's good with this being 25 pi? I hope so. You get 90 pi square meters. And this one, 1/3 pi, r is 5 again, 5 squared, times the height of the cone is 12. So 5 squared is 25, times 12, divided by 3, you get 100 pi cubic meters. Let's finish out one more in this video. Leave our answer in terms of pi. This is a sphere. You know it as a ball, right? Sphere. They gave us the diameter this time. If it goes all the way across, it's a diameter. So what's the radius? The radius is 12. Well, fortunately for us, we only have surface area and volume. Surface area is 4 pi r squared, and volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. And I told you in class, if you would rather do it this way, 4 pi r cubed divided by 3, they're the same, okay? If you don't want to worry about the 4/3. So anyway, you just plug in the radius. Radius is 12. So 12 squared is 144. Times 4 is 576 square meters. Whoop, I forgot my pi. Don't forget the pi. Okay, if you forget the pi, it's going to be bad. By the way, if they were to ask you to round to the nearest whole number, take 576 times 3.14 and get your answer, okay? I figure it's easier to get in terms of pi and then multiply by 3.14 once, okay? 4 pi r cubed, well, I plug in r is 12 again. This time I'm going to take 12 cubed, and you can check it. It's 1,728. You can check that if you don't believe me. Take it times 4 and then divide by 3, and then we'll leave our answer in terms of pi. You should get 2304 pi cubic meters, okay? Again, if you have any other questions, you can always comment on this video, tweet me at Mr. Cruze Math, or email me. Somehow let me know that you need help, all right? I encourage you to continue to watch these videos, subscribe for future content. You do have a quarter test and a final coming up very soon, so good luck studying. See you guys then.